What's good? What's good? What's good, people? This is R&B. We're back with 20 Talk 20. And if you don't know me by now, then we got a problem. But we're gonna solve
Stop.
it.
I mean, damn.
I mean, we're gonna solve it though. We're
We
gonna
don't
solve
know
it.
you.
I'm like, damn. I don't know
Look,
you.
I'm coming in hot. If you don't know me and you know my crew, then we got a problem. But we're gonna adjust this. You know what I mean?
No, that's so
This is
funny.
R&B, along with here with Steph the Oracle,
Hey, how are you guys?
along with Party J
What's good, people? How we doing today?
and Dirty, aka
Yo,
Trey.
what's up? What's up?
Happy Tuesday. Happy Wednesday, God.
Happy Wednesday. Special recording
God,
day
yo.
Wednesday.
And before we start, don't get it twisted, Steph. You're not out the run yet. We ain't gonna let you slide. We all want to wish you together a happy birthday.
Oh,
This is
thank you.
yesterday. You know what I mean?
Happy
Sure.
birthday, Madam President.
Uh-oh. Sing,
I ain't
sing
doing
for
all
your
that.
boo. Sing for your boo, fam.
No. Don't, no,
Don't do
Mr.
it.
President. Nah, I'm good.
Madam President. It's too much, y'all, already.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. A year older, another year blessed. And that's why we're doing a recording today on Wednesday. So thank you guys for being understanding.
Nice. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Stepping out about in the city and all that good
I
stuff.
did. I had a great time. I really had
All
a great
right.
time.
So for everybody who could let you know, who could tell you happy birthday, where can they find us at, Steph?
Absolutely. So again, we're here. 20 Talk is the podcast. We're here on Restreams. Our Restream is what we're doing all these great things. So definitely you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on X, on Threads, on IG, YouTube, Twitch, as well as Spotify and Apple TV. Now, again, if you guys are interested in talking about a show, you guys can definitely hit us up on our link tree. You can definitely check us out on our website. Again, you can keep up with us. Check us on Instagram. Hit us up. DM us. Come on, don't play. Let us know.
Let us know what's going on, y'all.
Join the
So
squad.
before we start the show, man, we got some sad news. Val Kilmer, one of our childhood, I feel one of our great childhood actors, right? When we was young, he's done so much. Val Kilmer has passed away. If you don't know Val Kilmer, he was in big movies like Batman Forever, Tombstone, The Saint. Man,
Batman. Forever.
yes. And all I know is this one. I ain't gonna lie, this one hurts, man. And for years, I've been asking, what's up with Val Kilmer? Why is he not acting? But come to find out, he was battling throat cancer for
Yeah.
quite some
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
You know?
And there was news that were stating that his daughter stated that he died from pneumonia. So with
Right.
complications from pneumonia along with the throat cancer, it's not a great combination. He was pretty young. He was only 65, but
That's what I said.
he was dealing with this for about, I want to say 10 years. He's been dealing with this itself. Yeah. Really
Wow,
sad.
10
Yeah,
years.
really sad.
I wasn't worried that. I just kept asking, like, what's up with Val Kilmer? And how I found out about the throat cancer is the movie Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
In the beginning I was like, yo, I need Val Kilmer to be in this movie for real. And they said, yeah, he's gonna be in there. And then when I saw the movie, come to find out, he was using the computer,
Yeah.
the typing. I was like, what is going on with Val Kilmer? Like, then after that, did my due diligence and come to find out that was his situation at the time, But anyway, R.I.P. to Val Kilmer, fantastic actor. I'll go first real quick. One of my favorite movies from Val Kilmer is when he played Doc Holliday in Tombstone. I mean, he crushed that role. People tried to, they did not Tombstone again, but they did similar movies over and over, and they just with his character, and it didn't pan out. They were good, but it didn't pan out the way Val Kilmer crushed that. Steph, do you have any movie favorites from Val Kilmer?
Oh, I will always say Batman Forever. That was probably one of my favorite roles from him in Batman Forever. It
Okay.
didn't have Michael Keaton, but I mean I think he's one of the best Batmans we've had, along with Michael Keaton and Henry Cavill and
Crystal Donald.
Crystal
who?
Robin. That was Robin, man.
Oh, Robin, no. Who was the other Batman?
George Clooney, you mean?
Yeah, just
George
Oh
Clooney,
man, look,
knucklehead.
I don't want to talk about that guy.
The Bat
Like,
credit card.
I was good when he played Batman. I was like, nah, they doing too much. He was so popular at that time, though. You know, he's a great actor, but he was so popular, and they gave him the Batman role, man. They blessed him with that, but I was like, nah.
He's
No,
back.
Val Kilmer to me
Val-
was a solid actor for Batman. He was solid.
Mm-hmm.
He did what he
He
had
was
to do.
solid. I loved him in that.
Definitely embraced
You
the both Bruce Wayne and Batman very well. Played both characters.
Mhm.
The same person. Played both characters very well.
Right, and that was the main thing. It's all about could he play both?
Yeah.
You know, and he definitely did the damn thing. He's not my favorite for Batman, but he did it.
Yeah.
And he got it done. You know.
Sure.
So, hey Dre, what's
Yo.
your favorite character that he played in the movie?
Same thing, Batman Forever, but then another one that comes to
What are
mind
you
is.
doing?
What do you mean?
What are you
I
eating?
hear a lot of static. I apologize. What is that? Oh
I'm
my!
eating my cake.
My man.
I'm over here like, what's going on with the static? That's not even static. That's just
It's not even static. I guess that's the rapper.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
hear the rapper?
Oh my lord.
Next to your microphone. Next to your microphone, fam. Are you done with the snacks?
No, I'm not.
No.
It's gonna be all night.
Are you done with the rapper though? At least.
Yeah, the rapper. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, go ahead.
So my favorite one, same thing. Batman Forever. That comes to mind, and then Heat. You know, that's the only two movies that come to mind when I think about Kilmer. And what's the name? Top Gun.
Yes,
Of course.
yes. But Heat, man, that movie, man. I think they was trying to make a Heat too.
They are.
Probably, unfortunately,
They
you
are.
know. Oh, they are making it, but
Yeah,
you know,
scripts
some of
in
those characters are in.
The script's almost
Go ahead, Jay.
processing. Scripts in development. I think I just saw a post in the past week that the script has been submitted for for development. So it's already in the works. So we'll see.
Okay, quick gem. But we're not gonna, unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get, certain amount of actors that was in the previous one. So, it is what it is. It happens. But, we'll see if they could top Val Kilmer's role along with Al Pacino. Doubt it, but hey, good luck. Unless you got Christopher Nolan, directed in again. Directing that and big type directors like that with that mindset, to make it a big impact. Because that movie, I believe, I don't know if I'm right, but wasn't it based on true events of bank robbing?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Okay. So yeah, between that movie and like for me, between that movie, Top Gun, the first Top Gun, and again Tombstone, man, Val Kilmer, my God, yo, again, R.I.P. to a living legend. R.I.P. to a living legend, man. So, Steph, what you got for us today? I know you want to know what you want to know about us today.
All right. So I want to know, what are we currently watching? What are
Okay.
we currently watching?
Okay, Dre, what you watching?
Adolescence
Oh,
and basketball.
okay, but you
We
said
started watching Adolescence. Yeah, Adolescence.
okay. You locked in?
We only watched like the first episode, so I haven't
Okay.
I haven't had time
Yeah,
to watch
I
anything
mean,
else.
we've been trying to watch it, but there's been a lot of buzz around Adolescence. It's only a 4-part series, so it's very limited, and a lot of parents and a lot of social medias are getting involved. Psychiatrists are talking about different things about it, not revealing too much of the plot, but I'm like, we're gonna have to get into the deep into it. So
Yeah, they're saying that every parent should watch this show. So
absolutely,
one of those.
yeah, it's one of those.
Okay. Since you guys are watching the same thing, Party J, what you watching right now?
Deep into Arcane, watching that. Then
how you like it?
It's good, man.
How you like it?
Good, man. That story is great, man. I like the little twist when they bring the girl back, different name now and stuff like that. This to again. Oh, it's picking up. It's hard to watch it at nighttime and go to sleep, but I'll put it on another episode. It's like 12. It's like 1:30, 2 o'clock. It's like I can't watch anymore stuff. I gotta save this for tomorrow. But it's going well. It's good. And then I'm rewatching Last of Us season 1 since season 2 is coming out soon to get myself everything. So those are the two I'm currently going back and forth with right now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And For me, I'm watching Mobland. It's only on the first episode, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with MTV. You know, they started doing a lot of shows as of late.
Channel?
Um, say that again.
The channel MTV?
No, not the channel MTV, but like MTV, like entertainment, because they don't really do music no more like they used to.
Oh,
They
it's
do
all
a
it's
lot
all
of television shows, you know.
yeah, it's
So
all reality TV nowadays.
right, exactly. Reality
Or
TV, TV shows.
business 24/7.
Right. So when I knew this show was gonna be good, even though it's only one episode, the opening of MTV, it got this. It shows the Moon Man, and I'm not gonna sing it because my voice, you know, I'm not to my usher move. I'm
MTV.
there. It is. There it is. Thank you, Steph. I wasn't in my usher move. I was in my usher energy right now. You know, I know it's a good show, yo. I don't know if you guys watched Mayor of Kingstown yet. I think I talked about that a while back. If you didn't, Steph, Dre, Jay, you're welcome. You're welcome. You know what I mean? That's something you need to binge watch. But all I know is this: Tom Hardy. I think in real life on a different Earth, that dude's a goon, yo. That dude's
I
a
think
goon.
so. I think so
He
too.
plays that role too damn well, and that dude has to be a goon like Earth 8.
Wait, you take
He
take a
reminded me
step back.
of his appearance and his toughness and his acting. I think
Yeah.
I think he's the same way in real life. The
I
same
think
way
so.
as John Berthel. He's
Yeah.
like a badass in real life.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
so I think Tom Hardy's the same way.
I agree.
Good show.
I agree.
Yo, my man is like a triple black belt in real life. He has
After
fun.
real-
He's like jujitsu master and bullshit. Like he's
Yeah.
breaking people's throats.
Watch your mouth. It's not no bullshit. Don't say that. I don't want him to hear you. And then Dre has a problem with his hand. But look at this guy. Like, it's certain roles that people play. Like, you ever remember Above the Rim when Tupac played that role, and then everybody was like, "Yo, he played that role too damn well, man." Is he
Yeah.
like that in real life? Like,
No.
my God, this dude's a goon. Like, for real, you know. This movie, this show, it got Pierce Bronson, Helen Mirren. It got so many big actors. I was over here like,
Oh yeah.
damn, like,
Stacked,
is
stacked.
this show, yeah, is this show gonna last like a quick 5 seasons, or are they gonna punch us in the face and hit us up with a miniseries and we say, damn, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but if you didn't see it yet, check it out, guys. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's on the list. It's on the list for sure.
So
But again,
where are they located? Where you said it's on MTV, but where can they watch it?
it's on Paramount.
On Paramount.
Paramount.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
But like I said, man, shout out to Tom Hardy. Tom, look, God willing, we get you on the show one day. You know, we're gonna have to talk to you, fam. We want to know. In Earth 8, are you a goon or you're a nice guy? Because we know you're a nice guy here.
Earth 8.
What was the reference to that?
My man went my MCU right away.
Yeah.
Right?
Agree.
Look, man, like I believe in little stuff like that, man. But I am a big fan of Tom Hardy too, man. And they need to find a way to put Tom Hardy and the Spider-Man together, man. They need to find a way to do that. Like,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You don't think so?
Nah, not
I
anymore.
would be pissed, yo.
They said in the post recently when it just came out, when they just finished announcing Spider-Man 4, that they were close to having them together, but something happened in negotiations or something where it didn't work out. So I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. We'll see Venom again. I don't know, in probably and eventually, but like I don't think they're ever gonna be Tom Holland and Tom Hardy together on the screen.
Sony owns the rights to Venom.
Sony owns all Marvel, all
Mo.
and rights to everything.
Yeah, man.
That's the way.
Oh wow. Shoot.
Like as a fan of Tom Hardy, like I know people get slack for saying Venom sucks. The movie sucked, but I enjoyed them.
I don't know why they say it sucks.
Yeah,
I enjoyed them.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
They weren't
They weren't terrible.
I mean, they weren't
They weren't
terrible.
They were just good. They're watchable.
Yeah, I enjoyed them.
They're watchable. They were those were like no, I want to go to the movies to see this, and I did, and I was like, yo, these movies were solid. Like, you know, what am I missing for a movie to be like, yo?
Yeah, same.
I know when a
What are we
movie's terrible.
missing? Right.
You're right. And then I know when a movie's like, nah, this is a good movie. Like, you guys are it's some fans out there they're trying to find something super spectacular at times, and that's the reach for me. It's like, yo, nah, this was good.
They want to
This is
find
really good.
not watch it. That's what it is.
But just one movie that did suck from Tom Hardy. I'm sorry. We went to see it last year. It's called The Bike Riders.
Oh, don't get me started.
The trailer
Really?
looks so much like Sons of Anarchy. So I'm
Okay.
like, we gotta go see this. We gotta go see this, and it was based on a true story.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
and when we went to go see it, it was like, what the fuck is this? I wasn't.
I didn't know.
It was boring. Out of nowhere, it's just fucking boring. I was like, oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay. Here's what I will say. Here's what I will say.
Okay.
What happens is we're focusing on the story, right?
Mhm.
It was just the storyline was bland, like right? And then the characters were so it's just like and that was it. And it was just like, I think because we have this standard for some of these actors, like we have Tom Hardy that's in it. We had a lot of people that we thought that were new characters introducing themselves, and we were like, oh, they're great, it's gonna be. So it's just, I think it was just a drama, and it was just very just even tone the whole time. It just, there was no inflection, there was no like nothing drastic. It was just, I was like, okay.
How did Norman Reedus look in that in that movie? He looked weird as hell, right?
He's so
Wow, that's
And stuff like that. I saw like
and then Butler, he was probably the only character that stuck out because he's a pretty boy.
yeah.
And that was
okay.
basically what it was. You're a pretty boy. You're not that fucking smart because you're a pretty boy. And that was the end of that. You know how it is? So it's just like, if you wanted to get inflection from different characters, if you wanted to have a climax, or you wanted change and things like that, it was the whole time.
Wow. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I completely forgot about that movie came out too.
Well, you did
You
yourself
were
a
in
favor.
Wow. And again, it's not Tom Hardy's fault, man. Sometimes not even the
No, it's
character's
not.
fault. It's just sometimes the writing is like the plot post probably cool when they read it, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to that, I think the script writing is amazing. It's just director. It's like it's their vision of how they
I
interpret
agree.
the script.
I agree.
Okay.
Oh, let's shoot it this way. I think this is what should happen. And these guys just roll with it. To them is another paycheck. But like I said, you said before, like I think the main part is they're attracted to the script, the dialogue and the back and forth. And
I could see why.
Movie, but then it wasn't.
Yeah. It wasn't a failure, but it was a setup. Because I came in thinking this is supposed to be dramatic, it's supposed to be, different, and it just set me up.
Right.
So bad when I left.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did you get your discount Tuesday tickets or no?
Yeah, discount. We did a double feature that day.
We did a double feature that day.
Yeah, I forgot what the other movie was.
So the second movie?
That was the second movie.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, we saw Planet of the Apes, and then we saw that.
Double feature, but did you pay for both movies?
Nah.
We did. No, we did. We did pay for the movies. Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
This guy right here.
No.
No, we didn't. We stuck right the fuck in because we saw it was empty, and we're like, we're gonna go in. And then we saw the reason why that shit was empty.
Right.
Y'all even help the budget.
Why do you need to know that, sir? He said, "Did you pay for the movie?"
Now we got incriminating evidence.
Got him.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
man!
If it wasn't Regal, it was AMC.
There you go.
Wink, wink.
Yo, I can't.
Well, look in that
Jamaica
movie.
multiplex.
Oh man! Look in that movie, The Bike Riders. You got to think about they had a lot of good actors on there too.
They were amazing.
So you would have thought like, nah, this movie's probably gonna like secretly sell, like make 100 and something million. The budget was probably only like 40, 50 million.
Yeah.
But again, it happens. And to be surprised, the Metascore was at 70.
Yeah.
They got a great Metascore. So you know how it is. It's like what you like. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But either way, man, Mobland, Tom Hardy, please check it out.
Check it.
This is one of the shows they should have just gave you all 8 or all 6 or all 10, man.
Yeah.
Don't like waiting next week for great shows. Gets on my right nerves, nowadays. But it's all good.
There's a right and left to your nerve.
It's all types of nerves. You know what I mean? Earth 8 nerve, Earth 7 nerves.
Damn.
All my nerves, East to West Coast nerves. You know what I mean? But here we are. But I'm patient though.
Earn nerves.
Nerves. But look, So Steph, talk to me. What we got? What we got going on today? It was your birthday yesterday,
Right.
and we did say, look, it's Steph Day. You know what I mean? It's
It's not
still Steph
Steph Day.
Day,
It's not Steph
and
Day.
folks, Steph
Steph Day was
is
Sunday, not today.
Steph. Well, it was yesterday, but it's it's really important that we said, hey, Steph wants to talk about Severance. And while we're gonna talk about it, Steph, I got the questions. So I'm basically gonna ask you and Dre all
Dun.
types of questions about this stuff to see what's what.
Okay.
Because the internet's still buzzing till this day.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, if I can go like real quick, just to talk about
Give me a recap.
a little bit of a recap, or if you want to
Okay.
talk a little bit about the director and stuff like that, I can just do
Absolutely.
it.
Go ahead.
All
Show
right,
is yours.
cool. So we're talking about Severance, and Severance is on Apple TV. So the show creator is Dan Erickson. So Dan Erickson, he's done some other work, but he's more familiar with being a post production coordinator for Blue Bloods. So he was part of
Great.
that show for like about 6 or 7 seasons. He's been responsible for about 90 episodes. So he
Oh,
has
okay.
a good grasp of like a lot of shows. So for movies, he's done like maybe 5 or 6 that he's more familiar with. One of them was Treasure Trouble back in 2019. Um,
Mhm.
but he's done more like independent films, in a sense. But this is Severance has probably been like the number one thing that's kind of like shot him to fame.
Mm.
So, and this is also Ben Stiller's debut as a director, executive producer for a series, because Ben Stiller, he's more familiar with doing what movies? We're talking about Something About Mary, and we're talking about
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder, we're talking about Zoolander. So a
Great.
lot of the so this is
Mm.
something like we're reaching big numbers. So these are
Right.
big movies. So for him to kind of redirect and go into a series was something very different for Ben Stiller. So this was like I was like, yo, this is crazy for Ben Stiller to have this kind of popularity.
Mhm.
So thinking about this, um for those who have seen it or haven't seen it, I don't want to put too much of a spoiler for you, but we know that season 3 is now in works. So they're
Mhm.
definitely looking to kind of continue the story.
Green light, yep.
Yeah, so we got the green light. So what is the budget are we looking at with Severance per episode?
Uh,
It might be more than 18 million.
18 million was before. So now with season 3 coming into play, are we
Everyone's
looking
getting,
at, Game
everyone's
of
getting
Thrones
ratings.
numbers? I don't know.
18 million per episode.
Per episode. But
So,
again, you have major hitters in there. So,
right.
you're talking about Patricia Arquette. You're talking about excuse me, John Turturro. You're talking about Christopher Walken, Zach
Mhm.
Sherry. You're talking about Adam Scott. So these are a lot of people
Mhm.
worth a
Yeah.
lot of dollar bills.
And meanwhile, the show is not something that's like full of CGI. It's just it's a lot of acting, which is good.
Mhm.
So you're seeing the actors' true acting skills instead of being behind the green screen.
Mm. Okay.
So everything it's in a room or outside. Is nothing. There's a few things that got to be CGI, computer generated and stuff to recreate the scenes. But other than that, like it's minimal effects, which is nice.
Okay. No, that's pretty dope. And it's funny because usually for the big movies, you're like big movies anyway. Besides shows, you're talking about like, well, I gotta pay this actor his 20 million or her 20 million real quick, and you're talking about $150 million budget. Well, that's what percentage of that is just crazy. It's like not crazy because they earned it, but it's like, all right, let's boom. Another actor who's probably the co-star is probably like 15, probably boom, and then you have to make your money back. Like this is the name of the game at the end of the day. You have to make your money back. So, but again, 18 million per, they doing the damn thing. Not too much CGI, so they must be doing something right. Shout
I
out
wonder
to
who
Ben.
the top billed actors in on that show.
Say that again.
Who was the top billed actor on that show?
Probably Adam Scott.
I'm gonna shoot Adam Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume.
Probably Adam Scott. Yeah, he's done a lot of his body of work is
Right.
is solid. So
Makes sense.
more than likely.
But every time I see Adam Scott, I think of like he's always been in like comedy movies. I always seen him.
But that's what I'm
play
saying.
that
The
type of role.
same thing
This
happened
is
with
like
Ben Stiller.
yeah.
You
Right.
will always think
Versatile.
of comedy with him. So for
Right.
him to do this, I was like, yo, my
Step
man
Brothers.
is
Every time I think of Adam Scott, Step Brothers.
yeah.
And you know what's funny? You say that, Steph, and Dre, Jordan Peele
See,
He was comedy,
comedy.
and then he went to the dark side.
My
But
dude
he went straight to directing. He went straight into directing.
He went
Yeah.
straight into that. I was like,
Right. In terms of directing, I mean, it's just like, wait, what?
and you
Like
know the
this
thing
guy
is, you're
so
not a one-trick pony.
right. Like this is their thing all this time. It's like I can't wait. It's one of those situations. I've heard this before. You want to get into directing. There's a lot of directors who acted first. I guess basically more or less, not all of them, but kind of paying your dues. And they said, okay, now you want to get into directing. You paid your dues or whatever the case may be, or you learned, got an opportunity to really learn. Here you are. We're gonna take a chance on you with this budget. But yeah, look, Ben Stiller, legend to me. I don't know about a lot of other people, but shoot, along came Polly.
I feel like one of the reasons why this show is popular is because it's a different show from what the normal shows that we watch all the time. Because everything is becoming boring now. So
I don't want to say boring, right? But a lot of TV now is fucking reality TV.
TV. So this is more like thinking outside the box. Like how are they going to be? Let's bring a story that has people thinking and not just visually just seeing it.
Right.
And this is one of them.
Yeah, but it's not for everybody though.
It's not
for everybody.
Question.
Go ahead, Jay.
That you just said like a lot of TV things a little bit more. Now I want to know now, what do you rate the seasons individually out of 10? Because I was looking to someone else. I was watching the seasons, and they said season 1 was a banger. They probably gave it like at a 9 out of 10. But the second season, they probably said they gave it like at a 7 out of 10 because they felt like a few episodes were like a little episodes. They were a lot of like the snow episodes were a little filler here and there. So
yeah,
I would have to agree.
Yep. I agree with that.
It wasn't as good as the first one. The first one they said was pretty much almost perfect, but the second one kind of took a little dip. So I just want to see what you guys would think.
It's
okay, Dre.
The first season was legit. I would give it a 9 out of 10. It was amazing. And then this one was almost like seeing because the first one it was like to me it was similar. It's like being at a Broadway show. You're seeing everything on stage, and then this one was like more like breaking the fourth wall. Now you're just not seeing everybody in the office, and now you're seeing more of the outside world, and then how it ties in with the place. So it's kind of like, and then season 2 was more like I will have to rank it like you said like a per episode basis. Like the first episode was kind of good. Then it kind of like you get more filler, and then it ends with a bang. But then at the same time, you got that cliffhanger where it leaves you with more questions. I want answers to these questions now.
But I think the same thing happens to any season. Like you're gonna be left with a cliffhanger. You're gonna want to know what those answers are, and that's why season 3 is up in development now. So that if the director and the executive producers and the actors are doing their job because they want you to want more. They have done their job successfully.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many, and just me going in the internet, like this one person that I follow, she said, man, I was paraphrasing. She said, I didn't think I was going to watch Severance. Now it's to the point I watched Severance season 1. I can't sleep because I'm going into season 2 now.
Yeah.
Because she knocked the whole thing out and she's going to, she said it's like that. So it's like, and I said, damn. I'm going to be next. I already know I'm going to be next. Like I said, I watched 3 episodes into it, and I was like, this slow burn right now. Like,
it is.
It's a
very slow burn.
Right.
And
but I got to
give it slower.
Right. And I got to give it a chance because if you remember Game of Thrones,
same way, same thing.
Same
it was a slow burn for like 3 episodes, maybe 4. And I was like, my homeboy was like, yo, Ern, you got to keep watching it. Trust me. Because he knew about the books. So I said, okay.
I know a lot of people that gave up.
See? You see?
People gave up after those first few episodes. They were like, this is just boring. Like, where's the story? Where's the action? I was like, gotta watch the first full season.
Watch it.
Right. But I said, and I didn't stop. So yeah, I'm gonna get back into Severance, and once before like let's say season 3 gets into play sometime next year, we'll revisit again, and then I'll give you my point of view. But there's so many questions.
Ditto.
So Steph, what I do want to know is, since I don't really got locked into the show, the company that they're at, what do they do?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay, good.
No.
A lot of people don't know.
So the company woman, right? So it's supposed to be like this big conglomerate company that does multiple things, right? The justice that I get is they're trying to I'm trying to find the right word. Because it's like Tommy from Martin.
Okay.
We know you're working,
But what
but
do
I
you
don't know
do?
exactly what you do. Does that make sense?
What
Right.
you do?
Definitely does. Definitely does. What do
I
you do, man?
I think season 2 kind of tied it up that it's about developing codes and developing different programs that are associated with the severance program, right? So the severance program is you're dividing yourself, your mind into two different personalities, your innie and your outie, right? So
Okay.
at the end, it shows that there's a connection with the way that that procedure is being done to the way that the rooms and the elevators are situated, right? So
Mhm.
there's a connection to that type of procedure. So I
Okay.
think that they're coding and they're building a program to do that. I think that's what essentially what they're doing. But to give
Mm,
you the definite answer,
right.
I
So it's something that has to do with something that's conglomerate, but it's something that has to do with something, and they have a lot of money and a lot of power,
that's it.
and basically they can't leave, from what I understand.
I
No,
don't know if
you
he
can't
sold,
leave
I
the
don't know if he
shop.
sold me more or sold me less.
Oh my.
Well, we'll talk about Adam Scott's character and the way he became part of that program was he lost his wife,
Mm.
Okay.
and in order for him to stop being, because he was so depressed and sad he couldn't function. You know what? Let me just join the severance program so that way he could go to work without thinking of everything that happened to his wife and just being depressed all day. So that was his way of getting into the program, to
Gotcha.
sever himself from reality and just work.
Gotcha. Okay, I get it now. Okay.
But at the
Okay.
same time, they're working on themselves on this special project
Mhm.
that's helping the company. And to me, I feel like
They
it's
scheming.
yeah, I feel like it's a program to suppress emotions and suppress feelings. And
Mhm.
to me, it's in my mind, I'm thinking it's just probably like something like a project to help soldiers in the future, like when they go into battle, to not even think about it, just without reacting, just go into the war and not really to think of anything. That's what I thought it was.
Oh, because you thought of the word Cold Harbor.
Yeah, Cold Harbor. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting show either way. For people who don't even know what the company pretty much does, and then you just got people who can't escape that their reality of this job makes it interesting, to be honest, to think about it, like sometimes like real life, right? It's like when you're struggling, you're like you really want to try to get a new job, but you don't want to move here because you're comfortable, but you don't want to take a chance because you don't know what's going to happen.
Mm.
It sounds like it sounds like well, art imitating life, and that's what makes it really good from what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
So
So
let me ask you this.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just reading right now. Like the Lumen company, the founder, he always defined. There's a thing called temper. So there's four tempers that define the human characteristics. So one was woe, frolic, dread, and malice. So woe represents sadness, sorrow, and negative emotions. Frolic represents joy, happiness, and positive emotions. Dread
Okay.
represents fear, anxiety, and apprehension. Malice represents spite, ill will, and negativity.
Oh, I'm very familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So although the four characters are working in the office, one of them represents one of each.
Okay.
So now like now the company is trying to suppress all these things
Mhm.
to just have like one mindset and to just to focus on one thing in hand. So I'm thinking that was used to. That's what I because originally I thought, all right, this is probably gonna be like a super soldier project or something. We're probably a
Right.
government contract. That's why I thought. But at the same time, like these guys are coming into work, they're being severed. So now they have two lives. You have one body, two mindsets, but then knowing that they can't leave this place.
Mm.
And then now they're becoming on their own and they're growing up. These mindsets are growing up, and then they're like, all right, they want to see what it's like to be out there. They want to see, I don't want to die. Like, okay, what happens if they cut me off?
Right. Right.
So it was a lot of that this season.
Okay.
It's complex.
Right. But
It's
basically,
complex.
yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, if they quit the job, right? It's like I'm quit. I'm out of here.
Right.
That's an issue for the company. Like,
It is an issue.
But it's not.
who gave you that? Who gave you that
It
power?
depends on if the innie quits or the outie quits. If the innie quits, it has to go through the outie first, and the outie has the final say.
They have to get permission. Bro, in the last episode,
He got
they
vetoed. One of them got
record
vetoed.
themselves with
Okay.
messages back and
Yeah.
forth. And it got fucking annoying at one point. I was just like, yo, my man, you are the Audi, you control shit.
Uh-huh.
Move on.
Yeah, my body, my choice.
And it was just not happening. I was like, why are you having this conversation with yourself, man?
Say with my body, my choice. Yeah,
hilarious.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah. So this is crazy, man. But this show is like we said, this show is getting talked about. It's being talked
because
about.
it's different. It's
Got
different.
a little gem on this show, which
Okay.
watching on TikTok. So the guy Adam Scott himself, his character. Have you ever anybody watch the show Parks and Recreations?
Yeah.
Well, so in that show, he kind of invented Severance. There's an episode where he talks about where he wants to go to keep his work life at work
Separate,
and his
yeah.
home at home. So
What?
yeah, there's an episode where he discusses that with
I didn't know that.
Amy Poehler. So it was funny when Ben Stiller came to him with the script for the concept of the show a year later, he was like,
Uh-huh.
"Why does this sound so familiar to me?" It was just sticking with his head, and
Mhm.
it just happened when he saw on Instagram that his character Adam Watt on the show, technically Adam Watt technically invented Severance. So
Yo.
Wow.
My man getting the rights.
Yeah.
Is my man getting credit?
I don't think.
Wow.
But it was funny how they just and he's in the show, so he's in the show too. So it's like it's kind of like a little cool circle of life thing that his own character created, technically Severance, and now he's in the
That's
show.
so funny.
And what makes this show really interesting, I'm looking at it on IMDb, so for one episode, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's a combination, well, not only for one, but for the whole episodes, a combination of 12 writers, like to really get this done.
Wow.
That's really unique. So think about certain music out there. When you say that one song is so great, and then when you read who wrote it, and you're like, yo, there's 8 of you. Damn, like this is why this song is great. You take one bar, I'll take this bar, here's this bar, add them together. And what do you got? You got a fantastic ass situation. So I get it, man. And now now I'm starting to figure out the $18 million per episode. There's a lot of
it's
working on
It adds
it.
up.
Yeah, another cool thing about the whole show, the whole intro.
Okay.
The intro was all CGI. It was all like animated. To do like it had like different parts of the brain and all these different like weird artifacts. And Ben Stiller found this artist on Instagram.
Oh.
And then the artist, his name is Oliver Latta.
Okay.
And he goes by his Instagram handle is called Extra Wag, and his feed just happened to show up on Ben Stiller's feed, and he's like, "Yo, this guy does weird stuff. I have to talk to him." And he ended up talking to him, and then he ended up hiring him to be the lead artist for the intro for Severance. And this guy had no idea. He wasn't really known, and this guy just showed up on his feed, and now he won an Emmy Award for the main title design for Severance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got a little clip here from
I'm looking at his
with Seth Meyers and Ben Stiller.
Okay. And I'm looking while the clip gets pulled up. Yeah, Extra Wedge. Yeah, his picture was kind of unique.
The guy's Instagram. So it's like I guess this is the one he's talking about with the babies like getting pulled up.
Weird. Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Very, very, very different.
Exactly.
Very different.
No, but I think the moral of the story is if you have art, if you're creative, keep posting your stuff because you never know who's gonna watch.
Yep, who's watching, exactly.
I think that was really the moral of the story of that story.
All right. I like that, man. Good stuff, Dre. Good find.
Straight.
So let's keep going real quick. I got a few more questions for Steph. Steph, who's your favorite character?
You're gonna be surprised. Milk check. This is the milk check.
Okay. Okay. What makes now who is that? By the way,
Who is that?
I'm sorry.
I would say
Tremel Tillman, right?
yes.
Tremel Tillman, yep.
So for me, I think he has the unique perspective of being on an innie and an outie, but he does not have an innie and an outie, but he has to deal with the innie and the outies.
Yeah, he's a manager.
So he's like the manager, right?
Yeah, so he's like the caretaker, the caregiver. He's like the boss of
The
them.
boss of them, right? But the thing is that I feel like he is so he has these great ups and downs, inflection in his character. Like one point he's using these large sophisticated words and you're trying to figure out what the hell is this man saying, and all of a sudden he's dancing with a drum line and he's over here just pumping away and dancing his life away. So I just love like just the dramatic changes in his character, and I kind of love how he is kind of the ringleader of these characters in a way that he's just brilliant. I just love that he's just brilliant in that premise, in that stage. Like if you was to give him the center stage, my man will take it over and he will run with it. And I love that for him. He's my total favorite character for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, another thing is his character is you got to remember once you get severed, it's like being born. But they're like adults being born, but yeah, he's like the one like taking care of kids because they all act like kids, you know. Like he's kind of there to kind of keep him in order, keep him in check. Yo, you gotta stop doing this. You gotta keep doing your work, your work. And these four characters keep getting into mischievous things. You have to keep protecting them and trying to keep them away from doing stuff. Yo, it's hilarious. And I don't think people realize. I don't even think he realized how popular his character was going to be.
I don't think so either.
Because out of all the characters, he is like the best character in there.
That's your opinion.
I think to me that he's my favorite character.
He's my favorite character. I don't know if he's the best character.
So who's the best character you feel, Steph?
I'm gonna say John Turturro, and the only reason why I'm leaning towards him,
everybody's favorite, right?
Right? It's because he fucking gets it, and I love that he's the troublemaker. He's always the smartest out of that group. He's always the one that just talks. He's the one that figures shits out. And he's the one who had the close relationship with Christopher Walken. And he's another legend on there. But John Turturro, I mean, his arc is. I've always enjoyed that of him. And he's magnificent. I just love him.
And he's the curious little kid.
He's the worst.
He's a curious little kid that's always trying to find. All right. Yeah, he's always suspicious of things, and like a little kid goes in and
he's too smart for his own damn good.
Exactly. And a lot of and also a lot of thing with the show with especially with what's his name, Tremel Tillman.
Yeah, Tremel Tillman.
A lot of the scenes where they were improvised, especially the dancing scenes. There was a thing where he had to. They were awarded a dance party and they had to dance, and all that scene was all improvised. It was all improvised. Everybody had to dance. So I have it here too. Let's see.
I like that. That's dope. They said, "Nah, fam, you don't got no choice for real."
Yeah, so they awarded a dance party and they all had to dance.
Look at him.
And his character, Dylan, his character was not supposed to dance, so he was upset that he didn't get to dance. Like, so they all knew that the scene was coming, and they didn't realize about the lights. You know, the lights they didn't tell them about the LED lights until they came on. So everything was all random.
Kirby, what you got? Let's see it.
Yo. There he is.
Yep. There's another one, and then now because of this, there's a whole thing on trending on Instagram, like all Mr. Milkshake moves.
Oh,
okay.
Oh my
You know,
god.
so
Oh my god, he memed himself.
yeah, so I was like the initiative.
Yeah. I fucking can't.
The helibop.
And they gave him the 70s turtleneck and everything.
He made me walk. There you go.
Yeah. I fucking can't.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, that's
I
hilarious.
don't know what this was though. I've never seen this one ever on any dance floor at all. That's hilarious, yo. Oh,
Yeah, and
man.
some of the scenes in the show were also improvised. And there's one particular scene in the last episode where he's supposed to hand one of the characters a folder and then look at the camera and then walk away. But in this particular instance, he decided to just run. And nobody knew that he was going to run. He just did it on his own. So he gets an envelope and then see how's his envelope?
Run.
Just staring like what the hell just happened?
I think the point of that was that because it was just so unexpected, because he's very stoic and very serious,
Like
and
staring,
he's
yeah.
always trying to be the one in charge. With my mess.
And everyone thought that because he was supposed to walk away, and that's why the camera is still high up in his head. You know, if they would have knew that he was running, they would have lowered it and saw him running. But all you see, he's just running in the back of his head, just shooting the door closed. It's hilarious.
Even better, to be fair. Just it's like, wait, this guy's out of focus, out of screen.
Exactly. He just runs for the door. Hilarious.
TV magic. It just worked out perfectly.
It worked out perfectly.
That's called. Yep, Jay, you're right on the money. The TV magic.
TV magic.
It's just boom, just run with it. That's good stuff, man.
I love
And that's good directing too, because director could have stopped and said, "Cut."
Yeah,
this is not part of the plan. Yada yada yada. But Ben Stiller probably said, "Nah."
He said, "That was brilliant. Keep that.
Keep that."
Yeah, being on the other side as an actor, he gets it. You know, so I love it. So listen, I got a few more questions, to be honest.
Bro, let him roll.
So we decided that we're gonna move on with we're gonna stick with Severance because by listening to you guys, I gotta watch it now. I don't want to.
It's a good show. It's funny too at the same time.
It's a complex show. It's not a taste for everybody, but if you give it a chance, you might like it. You can't judge it if you don't give it a chance.
You will get loud too. You will get
stuck. Yeah, I don't want to be one of those guys during the summer. You have to meet some other new people. You'd be like, "Hey, you watch Severance, right?" And I say no. It'd be like, "Dude, what?" I don't want to be that guy.
Were you on the?
You've been living under a rock.
Yeah,
right.
if you look, somebody's gonna tell you your own saying.
Right.
That's funny.
The rock is stuck on me. Like I can't move it.
Under the
I
rock,
don't want to be that guy.
Rock people on this side.
The
rock on this side.
Right.
The Audis. You're not in with the cool kids.
Gotta get out from under there. Rock me and Ernie.
Oh my god. But I do got a few more questions for you guys, right? So let me see here. So the show is obviously, it's not really a weird show. Or is it? Do you think like this show's so weird that I like it? Because it's weird because you said it's complex already, but is it a weird show? Or are you starting to understand the show to the point where it's not weird?
What's your definition of weird?
Well, let me see.
Because for something that's weird, like if somebody has 3 heads, or like something weird of that sense, if it's sci-fi or something like that. But like weird in the sense like if it's not relatable or like
it's not a sadistic show. This is
right. The weird is kind of broad, right? So is it? I would say
the Twilight weird. Twilight Zone weird.
I can see that being Twilight weird, very ambiguous. There's a lot of mysterious things going on. There's a lot of unknowns.
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror kind of vibes.
Okay, so in Black Mirror, that show's weird at times. I ain't gonna lie.
So I would say it follows that kind of genre because there's not with the filler episodes, you need those filler episodes to kind of fill in the blanks that the questions that you're asking, right?
Right.
So you need those episodes, but they get annoying because it's like we could have got to the answer quicker.
Okay. Okay.
To
Yeah.
answer the
That
question,
part.
right?
That part. Right.
So when we're thinking about just the questions that we're constantly asking ourselves during the season itself,
Uh-huh.
we have to say, all right, what do we need to do as the audience to see and look to make us understand, right? And
Okay.
it's just literally like you just got to be like, you got to follow it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it can be difficult for somebody to follow it if they don't have an interest in it, or if the shows is dragging, if there's a slow burn and stuff like that. So it's that's why I say it's complex, because there's highs, there's lows, there's great parts, there's slow parts, but
Mhm.
you gotta hold on.
Right.
Hold on to
That's
the
all.
end.
Yeah. You're right. That's all you could do.
That's all you could do.
That's all you could do.
And there
Okay.
wasn't really much of violence until the last episode, which kind of threw me off.
Mm.
And because the only reason why it threw me off was because you're getting this whole wholesome kind of ideal, and then that shit turned dark quick. And I was like, oh,
Oh wow. 0 to 100.
0 to 100. And it was
Wow.
gruesome. It wasn't like, it was like regular, not slasher. I don't want to say slasher,
You're about to turn off.
but it,
I was
yeah.
just about to say, "Oh, I think I'm good.
My man, can't
I
watch
think
it.
I'm good." Stomach
No,
is-
No slasher flicks.
no, it's not a slasher. But
Okay.
it turned violent, which I think it was needed because a lot of it was being held back. Like
Yeah.
a lot of feelings were being held back. And I think that the frustration and just the eruption of that was a great ending to kind of signify, like, yo, enough is enough. So I
Yeah.
think that was what it came to the
Okay.
climax at that point. Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
like that. I like that. So I got 2 more questions for you. Right now, everybody was trying to figure out what's what with Irving. Like, so where's he going?
To that troublemaker?
Yeah. Sanja Toro
Who
plays
knows?
Irving
Where
Bailiff.
he going with his book? Who knows?
Where's he going?
We don't know.
We don't know. That's
Nobody
something
knows.
season 3 we're supposed to find out. But I think Dirty, you said that there was like a good theory about what was going on with that.
Yeah, the theory was I really don't want to say because they haven't seen the show, so it's one of the characters.
You're good.
I
You're
guess
good.
Christopher Walken's character. He was a worker in there also in the Audi, but he was part of that project a long time, like since the beginning.
Okay.
Christopher Walken's character. So one of the theories is he was the one that was the driver. Once they were done with all these the Audis, I mean the Innies, they were taken to the pasture and get bolt gun.
Mm.
So they were saying that he was the driver that was driving them to once they were done to get
Their
killed.
deaths.
Yeah.
Right.
Then,
They took Sparky to the farm.
so then on the outside,
two
the other theory
cerebellum.
is he was an assassin. He was one of the Lumen's killers outside of Lumen. And there was one particular scene where he shows up at John Turturro's house.
Uh-huh.
He was inside
Irvin's
his house.
character. Yeah, he was inside his house.
He was inside his house, and Irvin just showed up, and he's sitting in the couch in the dark waiting for him.
Oh wow.
So it was like kind of makes me believe he was,
Mm.
Just because you can sneak into somebody's house don't make you an assassin, nigga.
Ooh. I would think you're an assassin. Like, why are you in my house?
Exactly. What the fuck are you doing here? And then,
Yo,
I don't know what and people are in your house in the dark, but if I'm in your house in the dark and you don't see me nowhere, you better come here to kill you or something like that.
just think about
I
how
had the wrong idea. My apologies, gentlemen.
right. Just think about how dark it is in your home, and you're putting the lights out. Your eyes are like this. Oh my nigga. Hi. I think you're in the wrong house.
I'm sorry, who let you
How did
in?
you get here? Like, right?
Why?
Nah, that's
Me,
scary,
myself,
man.
and I let myself in.
yeah. So it's
Oh,
and also at the and towards the end, because the whole season 1, season 2, you showed their relationship between them two.
Just them. That's the main focus.
Yeah, they're gay.
Yeah, they're gay. They're gay. So but their Indies are gay.
Not their
But
Audis.
but except for John
No, their
Turturro,
Indies
his
are not
Audis-
out.
Well, it depends if you're a top or a bottom, I guess, right? That's what it is.
Right.
All types of pause and a yo. Gotcha.
But John Turturro's character, he's
Did I
gay
say
and
that
outside.
wrong? That their innies are out.
I don't even want to know. Just stop.
I'm cool. With all due respect, though, of course.
100%. You're like,
Cool.
No, all due respect. Absolutely.
All
It's
due
all
respect.
in fun.
You know how it is.
Okay,
Anyway, we gotta say it.
Let's get back on track, guys. Let's get back on track.
But yeah, that's
So now season two is Irving, because now at the end of season one, Christopher Walken's character Bert, he's not there anymore. So now when he comes back in season two, he's looking for Bert. He feels empty, feels lonely. My wife is gone, and then when he gets outside, now he's starting to remember certain things.
Okay.
From the innie, and then he starts looking for Bert.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how they rekindle their relationship. And Bert is married and gay on the outside, but then Irving, he's by himself. And then you still have that love, that history, that chemistry them together. So at the end, he just helps them. Like, listen, they want to kill you because you know too much. You gotta go. He drops him off at the train station, and that's it. That's the last that we see from him.
damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, we need to watch the show.
All right, I gotta jump on it.
We go pause, but yeah, we need to watch the show. Like, that's a lot. We're missing a lot now.
Like,
when I hear you guys talk about it more, I'm like, wait, when? Like, oh, okay, now I gotta focus up. So listen, I got one more question for you guys. One more question before we leave. All right.
What the hell's the noise?
I have no idea.
My man got a tick over there or something? That's definitely Dirty's tick.
Oh, that was me?
Don't you fucking hear me?
Dirty, I don't know why you're nervous. This is the last question, I promise.
He goes to the race.
Dirty, this is the last question, I promise. I'm not trying to make it difficult.
I'm over here underneath the table playing with the knife.
Hold on.
Wow.
Okay, that's not the type of sentence anybody wants to hear.
We don't know.
Rice
As long as you're good, bro. As long as you're good. You know what I mean?
No, dog, Dirty, you gotta. I don't know what's going on over there.
Be cool. Listen,
I'm like, my man, what is
but listen, at the end of the day, Gemma. Did they fake her death, or is she gone?
Well, in the beginning, they definitely faked her death.
Okay.
And that is how everything is all correlated to the Cold Harbor. So what Mark is doing with the core four, that's what I'm going to call them because that's what they are. They're working towards building the coding and stuff like that in order to build this program. The program is the Cold Harbor, right? So
everyone has a chip.
So everything has a chip. So everything has a different identification, a different idea, a different character, different clothing, things like that. So now, in order for them to complete this program, Mark has to complete it. So they're waiting on him to complete this program, and Gemma just happens to be the person who is at the other end of that. When you guys get into the last episode of the season, they meet, and I think that was a very important part of that season to kind of close some story, but then it leaves it open for the next season for that. But yeah, the goal is for them to finish this program, make sure that it works, and if it does work, Gemma's getting killed. That was it. I was like, ooh. So
interesting. Wow. It's amazing at this point. Like in any job, if you really don't like it, be like, no call, no show. Like no call, no show. No, I'm good. I'm out. They said they'll just send me the check, but no, they're sending a human to your home. And be like, your family, we need you to get back to work. That's scary, yo. That's scary. Party J.
Yeah, I got you. Just to follow up what you just said.
Go ahead.
Said like the last one was episode so controversial, like in your mind, because I know it's a big thing on the internet. So, like, what was y'all perspectives of like, what did you both find it? Did you both find it controversial? Did one find it not? Did one find it yes? What was your opinion on that last one? Because I heard it divided a lot of households. Like there were couples were watching it, some like that, some didn't.
I'm not gonna divorce Dirty because he has a different opinion.
No, I kind of figured that was gonna happen at the end. The way the ending happened.
Okay.
Because it was just the show's too good for it to leave it on a happy note. and I have a couple of screenshots that I took from threads of like what the ending was. So let me put it up. And it says the message of Severance is don't let your real wife stop you from finding your work wife.
Yo, fucking can't.
Your work wife is crucial.
Yeah, so Severance gives new meaning to the work husband, work wife.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
That's hilarious. It's really hilarious, yo.
I would have to say that if I was divided on it, I would have. I was upset that Mark went with Helly. I was a little upset about that. But was it expected? Yes, because from the beginning of that episode, from 2 episodes prior, having that conversation between him and himself, the innie was fighting the outie, and he was like, "You're not going to take my identity away from me." So I was like, this was his point to prove like we're not doing that. So I was like, it was kind of predictable that he was going to do that.
Okay.
But I'm not upset. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to see how it transpires in the next season. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So that season 3 is gonna be important. And then if there's a season 3, you know there's gonna be a season 4. So
No, of course, man.
Fame-
Even
Who
though
knows?
they're losing, Apple's losing what, 1 billion in Apple TV subscriptions?
yes.
Is that the numbers? Look at
Yeah,
that. It's
so
still popularity of the show.
Hey, they might chop
They're
it.
probably like,
I don't
They
think
might
so.
like one,
If it's
depends
this
on-
popular and still rolling,
that's what I'm saying. They're not gonna chop the show.
Right.
But I'm saying like that 1 billion is probably like a percentage of their whole thing. You know,
Yep.
like
The better buck
Oh,
going
right.
somewhere.
of
You
the
know?
net worth. You know, so it's like for them it's nothing, and then they're probably just gonna keep producing the show. You know, as long as it's popular, you're gonna keep adding more episodes. You know.
well, what's going on with Apple? That what I notice is they're like we talked about this a couple weeks ago, Dre. It's just certain shows it's not really rocking the way it should be rocking, right? But at the same time, they just need to follow suit the way the Netflix does, the Prime does. Like,
To drop everything all at once.
well,
Is that like?
that too.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I think that takes
getting
I
there.
think it does take a part in that, but
Mhm.
I mean, Apple's still gonna do their thing. You know, they don't have this as much as the lineup as they do in Netflix. Prime does not have
Right.
the same setup, like because there's just so
None
much.
of these streaming apps. You know, it's not like Netflix.
None of them are
Right. And
So
it's
what they
I
have
mean,
to do is they have to compensate and give really good, high quality
Oh, yep,
shows
all the
to keep
shows,
up
and Apple's been doing that.
and keeping up. And I think Apple's been doing that. Yeah.
and I mean Apple. I mean, then these streaming services and these companies, they're not in the service of losing money. They're not in the act of, hey, let's lose money, we'll be fine,
Yeah.
But they want to make Apple's a trillion dollar company, but they still want to. They don't want to be in the office, on their quarterly meeting, and be like, yeah, we lost $1 billion. I don't care if I have $500 billion in my account. We lost
Eventually.
$1 billion. That's
Yeah.
still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think of it like this.
It ain't
Think
gonna
of it like
change.
think of it like this. Like Costco is not going to raise the price on their Costco hot dogs. You know, they're still $1.50
Well, I mean,
because
he
they're
wrote
so
that
popular.
will.
True,
That was
that's
in
true.
will, so they have to honor that. That's written
Right.
in there.
That's the point. Yeah.
That,
But it's going to be interesting. But from what we notice, we know there's going to be a season 4, so that counts for a lot. You know what I mean? There's so much that people's been talking about. There's so many other questions, but I know our time is limited. So I got to ask you guys one final question. What do you rate this season? Because Dre said 9 out of 10 for the first one.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
what's
For the
season 2?
first one, 9 out of 10.
second, I would say 8.
I would give it 7. 7 out of 10.
7?
Yeah.
Wow, from a
The
9
only
to
the,
a 7.
yeah, because there were a lot of fillers this season. A lot of fillers, but I think they were necessary to kind of complete the story. But if it was just rated by just episode, I give the last episode a 9 because it was good. It was good.
Okay. I like
Sweet.
that. All right. So people who are listening out there, check out Severance. And for those who didn't get a chance, like me, who stopped, after like 3 episodes, I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna see what's what. It's one too many people talking about this show. It's like a lot of people's talking about this show. They're really liking the show, so I gotta give it a chance again. Um, Steph, before we leave, uh, I know you had some news about an anniversary that came up. What was it?
I'm trying to
Selena,
think.
right?
Oh yeah. So over the weekend, we were watching a Selena documentary, and there was a whole story that just popped up that the shooter, Yolanda
Salvador.
Sandoval, she was trying to get parole, and it was like
Hmm.
they denied that bitch. She was like, no good. Even after
Right.
30 years later, she's trying to get parole. So
Yeah.
I was watching a documentary, trying to kind of like to see, how things have changed, and nothing really has changed. A lot of people are very sad about her passing, and they always talked about what she could have done. And at
Mhm.
23 years old to die like that, it was very super sad. But yeah, her anniversary just passed over the weekend.
Okay. Man, I loved her music. Like I love when Jennifer Lopez played her character played her as her
Icon.
character in that show back in the 80s. I mean back in 90, I think it was 99 or 2000, I believe, one of the two.
I think
I'm
it's
not
before that.
sure. I think it was 99. I think it
I
might
think
be.
99, right? But the series was really good, and it's so unfortunate. Like she was gonna be huge. I'm talking about, like, I could think of names who she could pass, but if think
97.
Shakira,
Came out
think
in 97.
Shakira, right? Right. So you ask yourself, oh, 97?
97.
97,
Okay.
right?
So think Shakira. If Selena was here, would Shakira have been here? Would she be good? Would it be at, neck and neck?
My thing is,
Or
is like I think she inspired all of them. She inspired
Mhm.
all of them. Yeah,
Well, Shakira was out around the same time Selena was.
Yeah, she was on
Right,
the
she
Yeah,
was
they're around the
like,
same age.
they're around the
right.
same age.
But we
different
didn't
genre
know.
too, to be fair.
Yeah.
Different genre. She was.
Right. But think about it. We didn't really know. We knew Selena before. I knew Selena before I knew Shakira. Like easily. Like her
Mhm.
music was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her
her
music,
music way better
Spanish
than
to English,
Shakira's.
it was like that.
Oh, this is better than Shakira's. Oh my
No,
god.
because Shakira was mostly Spanish, and then she was like, at least Selena was branching off into English and
Yeah,
Spanish.
back and
Her
forth.
was more
Yeah, back
wasn't
in the day.
Shakira's
Right.
music wasn't as poppy as it is now.
Right.
Right. Oh shoot. A quick question. Was she the first to do it? Was she the first to go from English or Spanish to
To cross
English?
over?
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I don't think
Nah,
so.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I know who it was. What's her name from Miami? She a living legend too. I don't know her name.
Gloria.
Some
Gloria
Gloria.
Estefan?
Gloria Estefan?
Estefan?
Gloria
Gloria.
Yeah.
Estefan?
Gloria Estefan. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, like, RIP. And like I said, that lady, she's not coming out.
Yeah. They said
Nah.
they
They'll
said in
be
the
outside with pitchforks
documentary,
waiting for her.
yo,
What is
the,
she, like,
the
80?
the documentary was saying that she's safer in prison than she is in the outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
because people are like they'll handle business.
They won't. No, they don't forget. They won't forget. They won't
30
let
So
years
that
yet
woman.
later.
Yeah,
a little
she's
better.
80 years old. How old is she? 80 years old or something like that?
Who
Like,
knows?
she's up there. So,
She's gonna die in
yeah,
prison.
yeah.
That lady
She,
gonna
she,
die in
she's
prison.
similar. Yeah, she's similar to the guy who killed John Lennon. Like, he does it every year too. Try to get parole. They're like, you're not going nowhere,
You're
man.
dying in
Stop
prison.
asking.
The
It's like,
Like,
stop
interesting,
asking.
the two interesting people that we're speaking about, like going off a parole of the Menendez brothers,
oh,
Mm,
if they get released, because
right.
I think probably should, and
Uh-huh.
because they were abused as children and stuff like that. It's very a lot of big cases,
a lot of big cases like that. I
lot
was gonna say, but
of-
if anybody would be released, it would be them.
it would be them too.
Right.
It would
What I
be them.
heard.
Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting to follow as the years come, next like 5 years. So
And
see how
then seeing the documentaries along with that, I think that's something like I think if we can get into a conversation about true life crime or documentaries, I think that'd
but
be a great segment for us to
there
talk
you can
about because
talk
this
about
is just crazy shit that's out there.
yeah.
Right. Absolutely. I
True
like
crime?
that.
Damn.
I like
30
that. Yeah, we'll
please,
definitely tap into
look
it.
right there. I got the knife already in hand.
That guy
Oh
scares
my
me.
lord.
Steph, wink twice. You're okay. Okay.
Get the
Thank
kids.
God.
The kids.
So Steph, listen, before we leave, again, give them a friendly reminder of where they can stop, where they can see us, where they can find us,
Absolutely, absolutely.
where we
Guys, don't
at.
forget, we are on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Threads, we're on IG, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and you can definitely find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Again, if you guys want to be a host, come let us know. Hit us up on IG. Don't play.
Mhm.
Come find
Don't
us.
play.
We would love to have you come on, talk about your favorite show and things like that. It's perfect. Come on.
Definitely,
And
absolutely.
we'll be going live next week, Wednesday again,
Right.
following a special schedule. And then the following week, we'll be back on Tuesdays.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Excellent. So, guys, listen, thank you so much for being with us out there. This is your boy, Earn B, 20 Talk 20. That's Steph the Oracle.
Good night, guys.
All right. That's Dre, aka Dirty with the blade for some reason.
Good night, everybody.
Psycho.
And that's Party J, aka Uncut Gems.
You know, baby. Good night, guys.
See you next week.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.